The Complete Grimm's Fairy Tales, The Bremen Town Musicians. A certain man had a donkey which had carried the corn sacks to the mill indefatigably for many a long year, but his strength was going, and he was growing more and more unfit to work. Then his master began to consider how he might best save his keep, but the donkey, seeing no good wind was blowing, ran away and set out for the road to Bremen. There, he thought, I can surely be a town musician. When he had walked some distance, he found a hound lying on the road, gasping like one who had run till he was tired. What are you gasping so for, big fellow? Asked the donkey. Ah, replied the hound. As I am old and daily grow weaker, I can no longer hunt. My master wanted to kill me, so I took flight, and now I am trying to earn my bread. I tell you what, said the donkey, I'm going to Bremen, and I shall be a town musician there. Go with me and engage yourself also to be a musician. I will play the lute, and you shall beat the kettle drum. The hound agreed, and they went on. Before long, they came to a cat sitting on a path with a face like 3 rainy days. Now, old shaver, what has gone askew with you? Asked the donkey. What? Who can be merry with a neck like mine that's in danger? Answered the cat. Because I am now old, my teeth are worn to stumps, and I prefer to sit by the fire and spin rather to hunt about mice, as my mistress wanted my mistress wanted to drown me, so I ran away. But now good advice is scarce. Where am I to go? Go with us to Bremen, and you understand night music, so you can be a town musician. The cat thought well of it and went with them. After this, the three fugitives came down to the farmyard, where a rooster was sitting upon the gate, crowing with all his might. Your crow goes through and through, said the donkey. What is the matter? I've been foretelling fine weather because it is in a day in which Our Lady washes the Christ child's little shirts and wants to dry them, said the rooster. But the guests are coming for Sunday, so the housewife has no pity and told the cook that she intends to eat me for soup tomorrow, and this evening I am to have my head cut off. Now I am crowing at the top of my lungs while I still can. Ah, but Redcomb, said the donkey, you'd better come away with us. We are going to Bremen. You can find something better than death everywhere. And you have a good voice, and if we can make music together, it should make some quality. The rooster agreed to this, and all four went together. He could not reach the city of Bremen, though, in one day, and in the evening they came to a forest that they meant to pass in the night. The donkey and the hound laid themselves down under a large tree, and the cat and the rooster settled themselves in the branches. And the rooster flew right up to the top, where he was the most safe. Before he went to sleep, he looked down at all four sides and thought he saw in the distance a little spark burning. So he called out to his companions that there must be a house not far off, and so he saw a light. The donkey said, If we could go better up and go on, for there is shelter there, and here is bad. And the hound thought, too, that a few bones with some meat on it might do him some good. And so they made their way to the place where the light was burning and soon saw that it was shining brighter and growing larger, until they came to a well-lit robber's house. The donkey, as the biggest, went to the windows and looked in. What do you see, my gray horse? Asked the rooster. What do you see? What do I see? Answered the donkey. But a table laid with good things to eat and drink, and the robbers are sitting there enjoying themselves. That would be the sort of things for us, said the rooster. Ah, yes, yes. If only that were so, answered the donkey. Then the animals took counsel together about how they should manage to drive away the robbers, and at last they thought of a plan. The donkey was to place himself with his 4 feet up at the window ledge. The hound was to jump up on the back of the donkey, and the cat was to climb up upon the dog, and lastly the rooster was to fly up and perch upon it on the head of the cat. When this was done and given a signal, they began to perform their music together. The donkey brayed, the hound barked, the cat mewed, the rooster crowed, and they then burst through the window into the room, shattering the glass. At this horrible din, the robbers sprang up, thinking no otherwise that a ghost had come in, and fled in a great fright out into the forest. The four companions now sat down at the table, well content with what was left, and ate as if they were going to fast for another month. As soon as the four minstrels had done, they put out the light, and each sought for himself a sleeping place according to his nature and what suited him. The donkey lay down upon some straw in the yard, the hound behind the door, the cat upon the hearth with the warm near the warm ashes, and the rooster perched himself upon a beam on the roof. And being tired from their long walk, they sat and went down to sleep. When it was past midnight, and the robbers saw from afar that the light was no longer burning in their house, they all appeared quiet, and the captain said, "We ought not to have let ourselves be frightened out of our wits," and ordered one of them to go back and examine the house. The messenger, finding all still, went into the kitchen to light a candle, and taking the glistening fiery eyes from the cat as live coals, he held that Lucifer's match had lit them. But the cat did not understand the joke, and flew into his face, spitting and scratching. He was dreadfully frightened and ran to the back door, but the dog, who had laid there, sprang up and bit his leg. And as he ran across the yard by the dunghill, the donkey gave him a smart kick with his hind foot. And the rooster, too, who had been awakened by all the noise, had come lively and cried from the beam, "Cock-a-doodle-doo!" And then the rooster ran back as fast as he could to his captain, and said, "Oh, there was a terrible witch sitting in the house, who spat upon me and scratched at my face with her long claws. And in the door stands a man with a knife who stabbed me in the leg. And in the yard lies a big monster who beat me with a wooden club. And upon all of that roof sits the judge who crawled out, 'Bring that rogue here to me.' And so I got as well away as I could. And after this, the robbers never again dared enter the house. But it suited the four musicians of Bremen so well that they did not care to leave it any more. And the mouth of him who told this last story is still warm."